Hello, and welcome to the Fat Ugly Toad Show. I'm your host, the Fat Ugly Toad. This episode focuses on the classic Activision 10-in-1 plug and play. Why? Despite YouTube already containing thousands of reviews of this device, I painted mine and wanted to show it off. While I do that, I will provide an in-depth review and show you all 10 games. The 10 games included were originally made for the Atari 2600. I never had an Atari 2600, but I knew a few other kids that had Ataris.
Bloop, 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 memory flashback sound.
That looks pretty neat. Is it fun? Gee, you sure are good at Atari, huh? Oh, it's my turn? Oh, I died? Your turn again?
20 minutes later.
Huh? Oh, it's my turn? Oh, I died. Your turn again?
"20 minutes later.
My turn? Oh, I died? Well, I'll see you around, I guess. Bye.
My first Nintendo experience was pretty much the same thing. Anyway, now I have my very own Activision in the form of this $8 plug and play, and I can play it all I want. And here it is. I bought a blue one and I painted the top gray because I'm weird. But now I have a one-of-a-kind two-tone. I don't care if it makes it worthless. It's mine and I'm not selling it. I didn't paint the buttons. Most of them are rubber except for the yellow ones. The original blue looked good too, and they also make a gray one, but I just wanted to make it my own. The buttons are a hard, thick rubber that has traditional contacts on the bottom. They basically skipped the middleman, and instead of plastic buttons with pads beneath them, they used thick pads. They work fine, although at least one button, number 2 I believe, isn't actually wired to anything on the circuit board. The games included only need one fire button, so it doesn't matter. It is odd though. Number 4 works best on my unit. The D-pad works great. Select and start are in the center. If you take it apart, you can reverse the colors if you want to, and put red on top. I didn't want to. The shoulder buttons are reset and power. Power is labeled on and off. They have different mechanics. The build of this thing is insane. The battery-covered door shows the year 2000, yet despite its age, this used market gizmo performs flawlessly. A logo was printed above the blue button, but I happily painted over it. I don't care about logos. The internal guts of this gizmo are just as insane as the controls themselves. Wires rerouted and taped out of the way of things, the aforementioned button with nothing running to it, the spring-loaded power button. After 20 years, it didn't have a single speck of dust inside it. It seals up like a tomb in Egypt. It's been called, and has a reputation for being, the first plug and play, but I don't believe that's accurate or true at all. I think it must have originally been meant to be something else, perhaps a child's learning toy, and Activision rolled the dice on an opportunity and re-engineered this from a warehouse of parts from something else. The battery cover screw is a pain. It has a super bright power indicating red LED. They later released the same software onto another version that was an Atari-like joystick, but I would personally rather play Atari with a D-pad. The paint turned out great, if you ask me. The power button in action. I haven't added batteries yet. Reset takes you back to the menu screen. I thought shoulder buttons would destroy gameplay, but they don't. It's Atari. You don't go near them without deliberate intention. Crazy design choice though. To me it's a comfortable controller. It looks crazy, almost screams retro, and it's likely that that's a big coincidence. It came in a bunch of different colors. Audio video out. Mono sound. Perfect for a small CRT with front-loading RCA. I attached a screwdriver I wasn't using to the cord with a specialty zip tie from a hardware store. I plan to replace the split ring and the hook with smaller ones. I had these lying around. This is a little Swiss Tech screwdriver with an LED light. It's a very light-duty tool, not good for much, but it's perfect for this, and when I play my Activision, I never have to hunt for a screwdriver. Either of those Phillips heads will do the job. I like gadgets. One final photo with my custom painted Game Zone handheld. A video for that is coming soon, and I'm naming it Desert Rat and showing off its off-grid solar potential. Click that bell icon for notification. I bought some IKEA rechargeable batteries and a wall charger. They were reasonably priced. I thought I'd try them out. I opened the AAAs already, but not the AA's, so it's kind of a bonus unboxing. Whack magic powers, activate. And then they all rolled away. If you're curious, I use vinyl and fabric spray for painting plastic. It leaves no sticky tackiness, looks and feels like the original plastic, and requires no sanding or primer. It also eradicates logos. I should remove the Swiss Tech logo as well. Not by painting. To its credit, the Activision has 4 divided battery compartments. This helps ensure proper alignment, connectivity, and current. The IKEA batteries fit quite snugly, and I suspect they are slightly larger than an average AA. They seem to work well though. I enjoy plug-and-plays for one and doneness, with nothing extra to collect, but also for their ease of use. However, bringing these screen captures to you on YouTube requires the giant mess you see before you. Please click like. And away we go. Screenshot of the main menu screen. Each game has an introduction screen. They are very basic, and I like that. Pause at any time if you want to read them. Crackpots. I have heard people complain about this game being included, but I can see why it was included. It looks good for an Atari game, and Activision generally had the best graphics on the 2600 and likely wanted to remind us of that. It's basically reverse Space Invaders. You can't win. You play it to beat your own score. It isn't perfect. You have to stop over the potted plant to drop the plant, and you can't just move back and forth. The difficulty amps up to beyond possible, and the red bugs are insane.
"20 minutes later."
It melts my brain. I have to click my internal reset button a lot, and by then, I've missed a lot of bugs. Although the D-pad works great, it isn't comfortable after a while. Kind of like driving a sports car from the 1950s. And yes, I have. It's an okay game. I play it once or twice each time I plug and play this device. Power-ups would be cool, but they didn't exist much yet. The game just ends here. It would have been nice if they added a condemned sign or something, or if the guy ran off screen. Tennis. I'm the orange guy. Oh, I scored. This game looks good for an Atari 2600 game. I believe this device utilizes a Nintendo on a chip and isn't an actual Atari 2600, but whatever. I'm not someone who cares or knows the difference. Probably because I never had an Atari. Let's see me get my butt kicked on the other side of the court. Before Atari, most tennis games were simply Pong or variants of Pong. I like Pong, but this is definitely a step up. It's a fun game to see and experience, but the computer opponent rarely ever makes an error, and it's so fast-paced that I haven't figured out if any ball control even exists. If it doesn't, this is an exercise in futility, but a fun one. I like pretending it's Tron. The device is incapable, but this would be a fun two-player game. Let's move on. The startup screen when you press the reset button. Atlantis. This is a beautiful game, but all you can do is fire 3 directions. That is until the enemy beam disables one of your cannons. I don't understand why Atlantis is on here, because it wasn't an Activision game. It was an iMagic game. Maybe Activision asked them to go in on the project to save on their own costs, and iMagic paid for 1 out of 10 game slots. Maybe the entire device is an illegal bootleg. Maybe the companies merged. Maybe one guy in a backyard shed was all that remained of either brand. Anybody know? Comment below. If you were determined, I suppose you could get good at this game. Spyder Fighter. This is a fun, fast-paced Space Invaders variant. I get killed constantly, and for me it's another brain melter. The movements of the enemies is insane, but luckily you have a good fire rate, and your shots kind of wiggle around with how you move. Again, good graphics for an Atari game. You play to beat your own score. Classic arcade. Pitfall. Pitfall is very exacting. If I practice a bit, I can perform the moves correctly. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to grab the first treasure. This game is probably the first famous platformer, massively anyway. Oh! I never noticed the wall bumping animation before. Pitfall is a famous classic. It looked great at the time, and I think Activision could have rolled out tons of games with a similar look but a different theme. They never did. They did make Pitfall 2. I haven't played Pitfall 2, but it looks like fun. Pitfall is actually a game you can win. You have to collect all the treasures in the game before the timer runs out. I haven't devoted that kind of time to it myself. Have you? Ice hockey. This is the first time I have ever played this game. I have now figured out that I am the red and blue guys. puck determines what half of the screen you play, I think. Offense or defense. The other half of the screen freezes and you play one guy at a time. Or maybe there's a way to switch between guys. I don't know the moves, but this is a fun game. I pretend it's drawn. Grand Prix. Just kidding. Grand Prix. Not much to say about this one. The spinning tires are neat. Not much to it, really. The road conditions remind me of the city I live in. Potholes everywhere, even on high-speed roads and highways. They take exorbitant amounts of money for vehicle registration, but they just shove all the money in their own pockets. Anyway, Grand Prix. Moving on. Boxing. Pause now to place your bets. I'm the white guy. I shouldn't have to say that. Color scheme aside, this is a good game for its time. It's no punch-out, but it's kind of fun. You can count the number of punches landed at the top. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up with the eyeball of a tiger. My video capture device had some trouble with it for some reason. Apologies for the occasional graphical glitches. Oh cool, I knocked him out. With 3 seconds remaining. River Raid. This game is decent, but my beef with it is that they chose a plane to be the player sprite instead of a boat. It should have been a boat. You have to collect fuel. It's actually a difficult game. Power-ups would make it more interesting. Someone should mod the game. Call it River Raid Revisited. It doesn't please me that my airplane crashes into the land. If my plane was a boat, that would be perfectly fine. Also, it's called River Raid, so a riverboat would be just fine. Or, keep the plane and let me fly over the land. Anyway, an early shmup. Freeway. This is a weird Frogger sort of game, but it's really basic. As a chicken, you run across traffic. You can only move up and down. If you get hit by a car, like this, you move back one space. I'll go to 10, and then change the difficulty setting. Dang! Okay, that's enough. And now for my final thoughts. It's cool. It's fun to It's fun to plug and play now and then. I play each game once or twice and then I put it away again. Rinse, repeat. This is the Fat Ugly Toad saying, please don't store batteries long term inside your electronic devices. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, share, tell your friends, spray paint my name on things, and email YouTube long letters about how great I am. See you next time. Bye.